Hey, film fanatics, welcome back to my channel. My name's Siobhan, and this is Awards Obsession. It is time to lock in for our Oscar predictions this year. I am so excited. Oscars are a couple of days away. I'm actually kind of nervous. This is going to be a really weird year, I think. There's not going to be a lot of sweepers in terms of like one film dominating. I think it's going to be like 1 to 4 at most wins. I don't believe that this is going to be a year like Everything Everywhere All at Once or Oppenheimer, or even those that didn't win Best Picture, Mad Max Fury Road or La La Land, where we have multiple like 6+ wins in categories. It's just not going to be that year. The Academy is definitely going to spread the wealth, in my opinion. But before we get into it, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Put on that little notification bell so you can see everything coming in real time. When I premiere a video, when I come out with something new, I'm going to be making lots of cool videos coming out, retrospectives on auteurs and directors, film reviews. Now the Oscars are kind of wrapping up, even super early Oscar predictions. That's something I do every year, and I can share with you like my movie schedule, what I'm going to be watching for the next, I don't know, 8 months probably, until we get really into the award season again around September, October, I would say. I'm going to start really digging in deep and talking about the film festivals. Like, oh, we're going to talk about Cannes, of course. That's going to be like the big one coming up. But let's get into these Oscar nomination predictions. Oh boy, I am really stumped on some of these. I have a couple that I'm going to make some, a little bit of a controversial maybe prediction. It might not come true. And I have some that I am pretty locked in on. I think there's like 3 or 4 categories. I would say about 4 to 5 actually categories that we absolutely know the winner is going to be. So today I'm going to be using the Awards Expert app. It has everything in one place. It makes it so simple to make your predictions and see what the community is thinking as well. It may help you a little bit drive off the crazy prediction that you might make that you might regret.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
But this is all in good fun, right? I do want to make predictions that are quite accurate, but at the same time, I like to make little bold predictions because you never know. There could be a bold winner. It could be a surprise. It could be something that you weren't really see coming.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Something like a Marissa Tomei, a Marion Cotillard, even a Frances McDormand from Nomadland. I wasn't really seeing that. That was kind of a surprise for me, but something like that. Something like A Boy and the Heron. For some people, that was a surprise. For me, it wasn't. And I have my own prediction for animated, and we're gonna get into it. All right, Academy Awards.
It is time.
Oscars predictions. Let's go to the bottom. I want to start with the shorts. So let me let you in on a secret. I did not see all of the documentary shorts. I saw all of the animated shorts in a screening in Brooklyn. And let me tell you, it made my life a lot harder to see the screenings. I've seen a couple of people who make Oscar predictions say it makes it harder for them to see all these shorts because they're all so great. And I absolutely agree. Let's start with live action short. I've seen none of these, but I know about them. I did see one of them. I saw Anuja. So I saw Anuja and I thought it was divine. I thought it was a film that deserves a feature-length production for sure. It ends kind of like on this cliffhanger, ambiguous, like what's going to happen to the main character, which I think will put off some voters. I'm going to put it at number 4. I think The Last Rangers. I haven't heard anything about that. I honestly think that it's really between Alien and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. Now, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent won the Cannes Short Film Palme d'Or. I don't think the Academy really cares about that, but it does speak to how good this short film is. And then Alien really has a lot of themes concurrent to the political climate right now is happening in the United States in terms of immigration and ICE and all of those types of things. And it's also, I believe, the only English language film here, and I know that the Academy tends to prefer those English language live action shorts, and because it is so tied in with what's happening in these times, I'm putting Alien at number 1. I'm locking in. The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent is a close number 2. A lot of folks really love this film. I just can't put it at number 1. I'm sorry. So my prediction for best live action short at the Oscars this year is Alien. Let's go on to animated short. Now, I did see all these films in succession, one after another, in a theater. Now, I think all of these films had a pretty good reaction except Wander to Wonder. And I can tell you right now that this was a film that I don't think anyone really liked in the theater. I liked it. I think it's very different. It's very strange. It's kind of disturbing at some points. There is like a couple of funny scenes. There's a couple of people hesitantly laughed at, but I just don't see this film being anything more than like an artist critics kind of gem, and I don't see it win an Oscar here. I'm putting it at number 5, and I know that's very controversial to say and to predict because it has won so many awards. Not only did it win BAFTA and the Annie Awards for Best Animated Short Film, it also has accolades from the South by Southwest Film Festival and the Palm Springs International Film Festival. So it's really hard to go against it. But like, honestly, like I looked at this film and I was like, I don't think this is going to win over some of these other films that are very, very, very well done. Of course, like when you have film festivals, all these films are not going to be there at the same time. So yeah, I have it at number 5. I don't see it winning at all. I think it's Magic Candies, I'll put it at number 4. I think there was a good reaction to this film, but I just feel like it didn't have much to say. Like I watched the film, I liked the animation, I thought it was cute, there were some poignant moments, but it didn't really end on a note that felt like it made me feel like the care about the film, to be honest. And if you know what the film is about, it's about a boy that takes these magic candies because he's looking for marbles to play with for a game. He doesn't have any friends, so he takes these candies, and everything around him that's inanimate or not English speaking, like his dog starts talking to him, and it's cute, and there's some like nice moments in there, but I just didn't see it really winning over the audience. Now, I did go with a couple folks who liked Magic Candies, but they put Yuck, In the Shadow of the Cypress, and Beautiful Men over it. And I've been having a really hard time locking into what's going to win here. Now, if you looked at between the 3 films, we have 2 more animated and 1 stop motion. So I'm going to leave Beautiful Men at number 1, In the Shadow of the Cypress at number 3, and Yuck at number 2. It's really hard to predict this. My favorite was actually In the Shadow of the Cypress, but I just feel like the silent animated film that has domestic violence and PTSD as themes in the film, it's a little bit a lot. And then we have Beautiful Men, which is a crowd pleaser. Everyone in the audience liked it, as well as Yuck. I just feel like Beautiful Men had more of a like something to say, really, whereas Yuck also has something to say. It was very like on the nose. It was very like well done, well crafted for what it was, but it was kind of maybe too lighthearted and fluffy for me to really have a strong connection to it as a film. So I'm putting Beautiful Men at number 1. I think it was pretty deep. It was pretty risque. Yeah, pretty risque at times. But that's what made it all the more funny. And I think that an older male audience is really going to relate to this film. And yeah, so that's my prediction for Best Animated Short, and I'm locking in. I think it's going to be a very close competition here. But let's just move on because I am not the best at guessing the animated shorts or any of the shorts, to be honest. On documentary short, my prediction is going to be The Only Girl of the Orchestra. I think it's the most well-known of the shorts here. It's the most crowd-pleasing. We have 3 very intense documentary shorts here: Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Warden, and Incident. Incident, I think, is more of a number 3. I Am Ready, Warden, I think, is the one that would probably do the best and might upset, but I think that The Only Girl in the Orchestra is just the most well-known. It's the most crowd-pleasing. It's about a really famous double bassist, Orrin O'Brien. Leonard Bernstein's in the short, like in part of the clips that they show. My one gripe with this film is that it doesn't really get into who she is as a person, but that's okay. I don't think people are really gonna care as much. This is a documentary short, and there's only so much you can do within 30 minutes. And a lot of folks are saying, oh, we got more than 30 minutes here, but you know, that's what it is. So yeah, my final prediction for best documentary short is The Only Girl in the Orchestra. I Am Ready Warden could upset. We'll see. Honestly, any of these films could win, but I just have a guess that the Netflix short documentary is gonna like pull it out this year. It's just it's pretty powerful film. Like it's literally on Netflix. You can go see it right now. You could also see Instruments of a Beating Heart, which I think is even better, I think. But maybe not production wise. I think the production of Only Girl in the Orchestra is quite well crafted. It does feel like a well crafted piece of documentary filmmaking. It's just probably not the best one here. I haven't seen I Am Ready Warden, Incident, or Death by Numbers yet. I know for a fact that Incident is the one that most people consider to be the best here, and the community agrees for the most part. They have Instruments That Are Beating Heart at the last place, but I think there's going to be some folks who really dig that documentary short. So I'm going to leave it at number 4. And this will get animated short where people are definitely saying Wander to Wonder is going to win. No. No. Beautiful Men. I think that's going to be the winner, or Yuck. Simply on the name alone. Live action short. Wow, we have a Nuja. No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be Alien. Or Alien? I'm not sure which one. I'm Not a Robot above Anuja. And I'm going to leave it there. I think that Alien is going to be a winner. But I've only seen Anuja, and if Anuja wins, I'll be really excited. I mean, that is a good short film. And if it wins, I'm pretty much guaranteeing you that it's going to be made into a feature film if it's not already in talks at the moment. I just feel like this is a film that I haven't really seen before. And what they did in that, was it 25 to 30 minutes was really powerful. So we'll see. And maybe it'll make up for like a film like All We Mentioned Was Light not getting in this year for anything. So let's go to original song, folks. Mel has been sweeping. I can't take it off number 1, but then we have The Journey. This is Diane Warren. I know for a fact that there's some Oscar voters out there like, please give her the Oscar so we have to stop listening to her music. Not in that way, but like they don't want to feel guilty for not voting for her. So they've been voting for her, but I still have her at number 2. I have Like a Bird at number 3 and Never Too Late at number 4. I don't see Mi Camino winning at all. Honestly, I could probably just put the top 3 and leave it there, but Almal is definitely my prediction for Best Original Song this year at the Oscars. Yeah, it's pretty obvious what's going on here. It's winning. And it's kind of too bad it's not being performed at the Oscars, but I know a lot of people have conflicting opinions about Emilia Perez, about the music, and if it should be performed. So it is too bad. I feel like this is the first time in a long time that this has happened. But anyway, let's move on to Best Original Score, or Best Score, because there's one that is not original here at all, is an adapted score. Our order's pretty realistic here. The Brutalist, it's mostly swept the whole year. 4 notes, very, very persuasive score that leads that narrative forward. It's just a really good score. I'm a classically trained musician. I can tell you right now that this score could be performed in front of an audience and they would really love it. Whereas Conclave, I think it is a score that supports the film, but I don't think it's the best score of the year. It's not like a memorable theme. It's not a memorable theme. Brutalist is a memorable theme. If anything, I think Wicked could sneak above Conclave, to be honest. But I'm going to keep Conclave above it just because Conclave is above all these films in the Best Picture race, and you just can't count it out. The Wild Robot and Emilia Perez, I don't see them coming for them at all. And I think everyone agrees. It's just locked in at The Brutalist. Daniel Bloomberg is winning Best Original Score this year at the Oscars, and I don't see anything else winning. Let's move on to Best Sound. This one is a little bit trickier. I think that everyone was expecting Dune Part 2 to be number 1, and there would be no conflicts. Emilia Perez, last place. Not winning. It's not winning sound. It was over nominated, and I it's not that I don't like Emilia Perez. It's just like, I knew it was going to be in sound, but yikes. Like, it is everywhere this year. Now, the Cinema Audio Society for Sound Awards has a pretty decent overlap with the Oscars. There's been a couple of times where they didn't quite line up. I'm thinking of films like La La Land and Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road won the Oscars, but The Revenant won at the Cinema Audio Society Awards for Best Sound. And then the Oscars went with Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant missed out on Best Picture to Spotlight. So it is interesting there with that. And then we also had the next following year, La La Land completely losing out at the Oscars for Best Sound and Sound Editing, where it did well at the Cinema Audio Society Awards for Best Sound. That went to Hacksaw Ridge and Arrival, since we had sound and sound editing categories like sound mixing, sound editing. We, differentiated them. So I think this year, like, A Complete Unknown kind of fits into that bill. I think Dune Part 2 is just a stronger film sound-wise. I think Wicked is right there as well. I think it's above A Complete Unknown, to be honest. I would put it above. It's doing well in the tech categories. The only category A Complete Unknown would have a possibility here is probably sound, but I'm going to leave it at number 3. I think Wicked has a better chance here. Dune Part 2 is the one to beat, and it's very obvious that that is what's happening here. Well, Dune Part 2 was nominated for Best Sound at the Cinema Audio Society Awards, but yeah, I just think that I do like those like musical films, and I think Dune Part 2, it's really hard to make a case against it. I know the community probably agrees with me as well. They do. It's just Dune Part 2 is definitely not only getting best sound, but it's getting best visual effects. It's just obvious. There's no arguing against it here. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I'll put at number 2. Now, there is something to be said about the Visual Effects Society and their Guild Awards. Of course, this year they went with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But if you look at the history, there's some not much overlap there with the Oscars. About half the time, I would say. I'm thinking about films like The Midnight Sky that did not win the Oscar. I didn't really have a chance. And also The Lion King. No, those did not win the Oscar. So I'm putting Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 2. I know that Dune Part 2 had a lot of wins, but yeah, they went with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm just not seeing it. I'm locking at Dune Part 2. Wicked at number 3, Better Man at number 4, Alien Romulus at number 5. These are very kind of predictable categories this year. I don't see much happening. My final prediction for Best Visual Effects and for Sound is both for Dune Part 2, and I think those are the only 2 awards it's going to be receiving, the only 2 Oscars that night. The other 2 nominations it's just not going to happen, unfortunately, this year. So yeah, and then I have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as a runner-up for visual effects and Wicked as a runner-up for Best Sound. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on to makeup and hairstyling now, because this is going to the substance. It didn't sweep the Makeup Artist and Hairstylist Awards this year. It did lose hairstyling to The Last Showgirl, which is not nominated here, but we all know that film is makeup forward. It is special effect makeup forward, and it won both of those quite easily. Now, Wicked did win Best Period and or Character Hairstyling and Makeup, both of them. I have it number 2 just because of that. I think that's fair. I thought Nosferatu would have a better chance, but it did not really. It wasn't even nominated there. No, that was for a contemporary film, for The Substance. So I think that's between The Substance and Wicked here. Nosferatu number 3. I think that Nosferatu has a much better chance at production design, and I can leave it here. It's between these 3 films, and it's really not between any of the other films except The Substance. So we're gonna keep it there. And I think that the statistic that a very heavily favored Best Actor or Actress nominee that is also at makeup and hairstyling is going to win makeup and hairstyling. It's very, very, very real. This is what's happening this year. And we all know Cynthia Erivo is not winning Best Actress. So, locking in. It's The Substance. It's winning. I'm going to be really happy when a horror film wins makeup and hairstyling this year. I'm a big horror film person, especially when it comes to horror art house films. Very, very original. And The Substance is my top 10 of the year, so I'm keeping it at number 1 here at makeup and hairstyling. I'm locking in. Costume design, okay. Wicked swept. It's not losing. I can say for sure, if Wicked loses here at costume design, where it's nominated, it's never lost. I think Nosferatu, I'll put it number 2. I really like the costume design there. I think we can just leave this list like this. And maybe I'll put Conclave above A Complete Unknown. Maybe even Gladiator 2, I believe, could be above A Complete Unknown. But yeah, it's between Wicked and Nosferatu. And I mean, Wicked's probably like a 99% win. It's a 93% win here at the community. We're locking in. It's Wicked for best costume design, and it's for best production design as well. It's swapped there for the categories it was in. Nosferatu is a close number 2. And between Brutus and Conclave, I'm going to keep it here. I don't think either of them are going to win. I think it is between... I'll put Dune Part 2 at number 4. Why not? I don't see Conclave winning. I don't see the Brutalist winning. With this AI allegations, that's probably affecting the production design more than anything else. I'm going to keep it here. Number 3, just because, you know, it's about architecture, right? It's a production design forward film. I don't think that Dune Part 2 has a chance against Wicked or Nosferatu. People who are not really into the genre films are going to be voting for Brutalist, which bumps it just above Dune Part 2 for me. But Nosferatu, I think, could upset, but I just don't have it at number 1. I can't do it. I need to be smart. Wicked is number 1. Dune Part 2 is not number 2. It's not winning production design this year. I'm so sorry. It's not happening. I know a lot of people are very passionate about this film, but many voters are not passionate about Dune Part 2, and we're keeping it there at number 4. Locking in, Wicked is taking up those technicals, costume design, production design. It is over. It's not, no one else is winning. Promise you. Promise you. All right, let's move on to best editing. Okay, I have a good stat for you. Best editing, BAFTA. So I know for a fact that BAFTA, when it comes to editing, is a very good predictor of what's going to win. There was a couple years there in more recent memory where I know that Vice won best editing, and then also Baby Driver won best editing. First of all, Baby Driver was never nominated for best picture, and then Vice was like, in my opinion, BAFTA loves their Americana, like American political like films, and it won best editing there over Bohemian Rhapsody. And I think Bohemian Rhapsody winning best editing was a very Oscar move. It's like the most editing, which I think why Amelia Perez, a lot of people are predicting Amelia Perez. I can tell you some people I really respect are saying that, or at least we're predicting it for BAFTA. But no, I don't think so. I think that it's going to be Conclave. Conclave won best editing at BAFTA this year. It's been very, very close between BAFTA and Oscars for so long, for so many years. And also, like, Baby Driver was never nominated for Best Picture. Vice was a very low-tier Best Picture nominee, in my opinion. I don't think it went home with a single award, did it? Did it win makeup? I can't remember. Because I don't think I've even seen the film Vice, and it got such bad reviews, I was surprised it won. That was a weird year, wasn't it? It was like between Vice and Bohemian Rhapsody. Not a great year for editing. Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody. First of all, worst editing I've ever seen a film in the past 10 years. That's a Best Picture nominee. That it's not a terrible movie, but the editing there, you go to film school and they show you how not to edit a film. How not to edit a film, and it won Best Editing at the Oscars. Anyway, forget it. We're going with Conclave. Conclave is winning here. It has the best editing. It's the cleanest. There's not a moment in that film where I'm like, oh, okay. Could you have cut out 20 minutes? Maybe. And yeah, I think Brutalist is number 2. I'm gonna leave it here. I think that this is a good list here. Conclave is winning. I don't see it not winning if it doesn't win. And I saw some stats out there saying that Brutalist is gonna win. I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm pretty doubtful of that one. I want to put Nora a little bit higher, to be honest. It's gonna win. Well, we'll see. I want to keep it at number 4. I think it's fine. It's not winning Best Editing. I can tell you for a fact it's not winning Best Editing. It's just not an editing film. Conclave is. Brutalist has some very artistic editing, and it does have a good flow. It doesn't feel like super long for what it is. It does feel long, and there's some voters who probably thought it was long because they watched it on their mini laptop, probably. Anyway, yeah, I have a Conclave as a lock for Best Editing. Brutalist maybe, but I doubt it. And I think that Anora just doesn't have a chance here. If it wins, that would be really cool. But I think of all the categories that it's up for, I think best editing is like the least likely to happen. And I think Emilia Perez has even a better chance, just knowing the history of the Oscars. So we're going to keep it there. Conclave is my final prediction for best editing this year at the Oscars. Okay. So now we have best cinematography. Now ASC, excuse me, you made it harder for us to predict who's going to win this year. ASC does line up quite a bit with the Oscars. I mean, when it doesn't, it's because they're awarding a veteran director that they really love. They don't really want to go with someone new. Of course, Ed Lachman won this year for Maria. Now, Maria wasn't even nominated for anything else this year except best in cinematography. And I think it's very rare for a cinematography Oscar to be handed out when that's the only nomination for the film. So I don't have it at number one. I have it Brutalist at number one. That's been sweeping all season. I think that Nosferatu has a chance. I'm going to put it at number 3. It had it at number 2 for quite a while, but that win for Ed Lachman, he is a veteran. He's done Carol, Far From Heaven, El Conde. This is his 4th Oscar nomination, and he did the cinematography for Mildred Pierce for TV. And I mean, these films are really beautiful. And I did not like Maria, but the cinematography saved it for me. That made it watchable for me. I didn't think the performances were good. I didn't think that the story was good. I didn't like where they took that film personally, but the cinematography saved it for me. I'm going to put it at number 2. And I think a lot of people watching that film are going to really vote for it and love it. But The Brutalist has the most artistic, interesting, iconic cinematography, and if it doesn't win, I'm going to be really annoyed because you just award it. Like, you don't even need to watch the whole film. You just, for the first 5 minutes, it's winning. You know it. You already know it. So I'm keeping it number 1. I think Nosferatu, it should have a chance, but I feel like the days gone by after the ASC win for Maria with Ed Lachman, it's just a no-go. It's disappointing because it does so well in not emulating, but taking inspiration from the German expressionism of the time, takes them as inspiration and does something really new and creative with them. And yeah, like I can think of a bunch. I can think of Nosferatu, of course, Dr. Mabuse the Gambler, Metropolis, even The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, The Last Laugh, Faust, all of those. Oh my God, Faust, so good. I just got reminded. Okay, anyway, watch Faust, another really good Murnau film. But yeah, Nosferatu, I have it at number 3. Dune Part 2 is at number 4 for me. Emilia Perez has no chance. It's not winning Best Cinematography this year. Brutalist, yeah, I think that Maria and Dune I would switch. I think that Dune, it just sucks. Like, this is a very strong year for cinematography, in my opinion, and Emilia Perez doesn't deserve to be here. Nickel Boys does. And maybe Nickel Boys winning. And we all know for a fact that that was fucked up when Jamal Frey was not nominated, but then won every other freaking award there was. Anyway, locking at Brutalist, Law Crawley is winning this year, and that's the end of the story. All right, let's move on to animated feature. Oh my God. What am I going to do here? We all know that Wild Robot, and it's against Wild Robot and Flow. Okay, I'll put Wallace and Gromit at number 3. Inside Out 2 and Memoir of a Snail are just, they're not in the conversation this year. Inside Out 2 was really good, but it's not as good as the first, and it's really hard to award a film that doesn't really compare to the first. What do I go with here? I mean, The Wild Robot won at Critics' Choice. It won PGA, it won Annie, but Flow won Independent, Spirit Awards, and Independent Annie, and also the Golden Globe. So for me, it's split, right? And The Wild Robot also won the Art Directors Guild Award for animated film. That doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Now, The Wild Robot did win PGA for Best Animated Film, but, you know, last year Spider-Man won and it lost at the Oscars to Boy and the Heron, which, you know, I think they're both about the level of the same quality of film. I think Flow and Wild Robot, there's something to be said for each of them. You know, I had Wild Robot for quite a bit. This is what happened. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody. I saw the Indie Spirit Awards give its Best International Feature to Flow, which I had predicted, but then I went back on because I was like, that, I don't know about that. But then they did give it to Flo, and I said, why did I doubt Flo? Because I had Flo in my number 1. Going into the BAFTAs, I thought BAFTAs would give Flo Best Animated Feature, but then it went to Wallace and Gromit. And The Wild Robot, with those Best Sound and Best Original Score nominations, I was just thinking like, okay, maybe it is Wild Robot. It did very well at the box office in terms of like just so many people seeing it. In terms of like popular, it's like a populist animated film, right? This is like how Spider-Man was. But last year, it really went to The Boy and the Heron. Now The Boy and the Heron's from Studio Ghibli, so it's not like it's from like this independent artist in his basement with free software making a film. But I'm putting Flo at number 1. It's because of that Indie Spirit Award. It's because of the Golden Globe, the Indie Annie win, and the fact that everyone I talk to prefers Flo over Wild Robot. Everyone, like literally everybody. I mean, I think there's maybe one person I talked to who was like, oh, I don't really like not talking films. There's just something so much more masterful to Flo with such a small amount of money. It's a David and Goliath battle, and everyone wants the underdog to win, and they're gonna vote for Flo. And I promise you that it's not as divisive as this. It's not 71 to 27. It's probably like 52 to 48. I would say. I can't really look at these lists because honestly, like Flo, Wild Robot. Look, Wild Robot might win Oscars. It probably has the advantage. It has the edge. It has those nominations other than animated film. But Flo also has the international film. And there's not going to be many people voting for Flo in international film. So you're going to either be Amelia Perez or I'm Still Here. And so I think that most people are going to go into animated film and say, yeah, Flo is my favorite of the year. It's my favorite of the year. It's my number 3 favorite film of the year, whether that's live action, documentary, anything, musical, comedy, horror. It's my number 3 of the year. I think it is such a powerful film. You need to watch it. You need to watch it in theaters. And it just has such a resonance and so powerful. And the ending feels much more satisfying. And it's not even a satisfying ending. I don't want to ruin it. But The Wild Robot just feels like the motifs and emotions in that film are really thrust on you. Whereas Flo, he just lets you ride with it. That director from Latvia, I think it would be great for Latvia. I want to see that Academy Award placed by that Golden Globe Award in their museum. If you haven't seen that, by the way, it's really funny. I love it. I love the Latvian passion behind this film and just the passion in general. And I think most people who see this film are going to obviously vote for Flo over Wild Robot. And that's just a fact. It is a much better film in every way. It's got a better story. It's has no words in it, and it tells a better story than Wild Robot. So for that reason, I'm locking it in as my animated feature prediction. It's probably going to be wrong, but I don't care. This is the other category I'm a little bit confused on. I was thinking for sure, like, okay, I think that voters are going to go for No Other Land. It's been winning everything this year. There's not really been a competition other than Superman, of course, but Superman's not here. It wasn't even shortlisted, so it's not nominated. We can't even put that into our minds of what it's going to be like. So what do we do here? I was thinking Black Box Diaries might have a chance for soundtrack to a coup d'etat, but here's the thing. No Other Land, the subject matter is too touchy for the average voter at the Academy, in my opinion. I know that the stats are kind of against me here. That's just what I believe. And I know it's wrong to go off of a vibe, but I don't want to say much into this because it is so tricky. But let's just say the subject matter is not going to be for the voters. The subject matter for Porcelain War and Sugarcane are. Just because No Other Land has had such good response, even though the subject matter, I'm going to keep it at number 2. But Porcelain War, I think, is going to go home with the award this year for documentary. And I think that Sugarcane might even be higher than No Other Land at this point. I'm going to put it there at number 2. No Other Land I have at number 3. And then the other 2, 4 and 5. I don't know. I think it's between Porcelain War and Sugarcane. These are 2 films that anyone can stand behind, and it's not controversial. I mean, porcelain war. People have been going for the Ukraine anti-Russia documentaries as of late, and I think this is no different. And it's not even the most heavy, like, intense documentary that there is. Sugarcane, I think, is, and it's also quite slow paced. But yeah, I'm gonna put it there. I think that is a fair assessment of what's going to be happening this year at the Oscars. People have No Other Land at the top. 81% think that No Other Land's going to win. I hate to break it to you, but it's not winning documentary feature. I don't think so. If I'm wrong, I will apologize, but I have it number 3. I don't think so. Best international feature. Okay. I'm still here. It's winning. Yeah, it's winning. Emilia Perez is not winning Best International Feature this year. I'm Still Here was a million times better than Emilia Perez. I can't even... anyone who watches I'm Still Here is going to automatically think it's better than Emilia Perez and vote for it. And it's not even... these films are like very watchable, you know? So what else am I supposed to say? If Fernando Torres is going to win Best Actress, then I'm Still Here is going to win Best International Feature. It's in Best Picture. If I'm Still Here wasn't in Best Picture, then of course Emilia Perez would have a better chance. But the fact of the matter is, Emilia Perez has had a terrible campaign. It's just been Zoe Saldana, and we know Zoe Saldana is probably winning Best Supporting Actress. And we know that the song Alma is probably winning Best Original Song. It's not winning International Feature. If it is winning that night, I'm gonna be kind of pissed off, because I'm Still Here is a masterpiece and it deserves this award. And yeah, it's not even about deserving it. It's just the momentum behind it, the love. Everyone's been watching it right before they're voting. They're not going to remember Emilia Perez after watching I'm Still Here. I promise you, as someone who likes Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here gets my vote. And I'm just going with how I'm voting, and I'm saving it. I'm locking in with Brazil. Brazil, you had the best international feature film of the year and a top 5 film of the year, period. It's my number 2 of the year, and it's winning Best International Feature at the Academy Awards this year. All right, we're going to get into the above the line categories now, starting with adapted screenplay. This is a lock. It's Conclave. Nothing else is winning. It swept all year. The only time it didn't get an adapted screenplay award was at the WGA. Yeah, it wasn't nominated there because it wasn't eligible. So it's winning. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's winning. Nickel Boys also had a brilliant screenplay. By the way, I think Nickel Boys is my number 4 of the year in terms of my favorite films of the year, and Conclave is not really in my top 10, but even I can admit that screenplay was quite well done. It was quite well executed. Without that screenplay, I don't think that film would have been nearly as good. And it's just happening. Like, there's no one else who's gonna win. I don't even need to fool around with these others. I'll probably put Emilia Perez a little bit above, just because I know that people voted for it. And I'm saving this. My final prediction for Best Adapted Screenplay is Conclave. I mean, it's almost inevitable at this point, and I don't think Sing Sing is gonna get anything. Best Original Screenplay. Now this has gotten a little bit trickier, huh? We have 3 frontrunners here. Anora, A Real Pain, and Substance. I think Anora's getting it. I think A Real Pain has a huge chance, and I think The Substance fell off after Critics' Choice. BAFTA showed how weak The Substance was, really. After Mikey Madison won Best Actress, I was like, The Substance is not winning Best Original Screenplay at the Academy Awards this year. It just isn't. That's just how strong I feel about it, honestly. It doesn't matter what happened after. The fact that BAFTA didn't even look at The Substance more than a makeup win, that's very problematic. And I think A Real Pain has gained momentum in screenplay, but I think it's only helping Kieran Culkin at this point. I don't know. I think that Nora still takes it here for original screenplay, but I won't be surprised if A Real Pain wins. And a lot of this is having to do with my mindset that Nora's going to win Best Picture, so why wouldn't it win Best Original Screenplay? It could pull off Nomadland, where it wins Best Director, Best Picture, but Nomadland won Best Actress. So now I'm overthinking it, huh? And that year, Nomadland was adapted screenplay, and that lost to The Father, and The Father won Best Actor. So I'm looking here, I'm seeing like a possible Best Actress win for Mikey Madison, but a very definite win for Best Supporting Actor for Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, but then a 90% sure that Demi Moore is going to win Best Actress for The Substance. It's really complicated. I'm just not going to overthink it. I'm going to go with the WGA winner, Anora. I think it's pretty obvious that this is a screenplay film over The Substance. And then A Real Pain is kind of on the outlier, and it's not nominated for Best Picture at all. Yeah, I believe the last time that this happened was like over 20 years ago, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That was before the 10 films or more than 5 films for Best Picture was instituted by the Academy. And yeah, maybe this is the year that this happens, but no, I'm logging in with Anora. Eternal Sunshine was an easy number 6 or number 7 that year for Best Picture, I believe. In fact, I was kind of pissed off it didn't get nominated for Best Picture because it's probably my top 4 of all time. But yeah, I'm saving this. It's gonna be Anora or A Real Pain, and I want it to be Anora really bad, and I think it's closer than 76-12 in my opinion. But yeah, Anora's gonna get original screenplay this year for Sean Baker, and that's my final prediction. So let's go into Best Supporting Actor. It's Kieran Culkin. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't need to say anything. It's Kieran Culkin. I wanted Yura to win so bad something this year. And as you might know, if you look at my other videos, if Anora had won Best Ensemble, I would have considered Yura Borisov for a win for Best Supporting Actor here at the Academy Awards, kind of like recalling that Everything Everywhere All at Once thing. And not really the same thing, because Jamie Lee Curtis did win the SAG that year, and then she went on to win Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars. But no, it's Kieran Culkin. We're locking in. I'm not gonna go against him again. I did it once and I'm not doing it again. I'm so sorry, Kieran. But he's not my top of the year. But he'll be there. And now this is Best Supporting Actress. I mean, come on. It's Zoe Saldana. And here's the thing. I had Ariana Grande at number 2. Felicity Jones at number 3, Isabella Rossellini at number 4, and Monica Barbaro at number 5. Isabella Rossellini jumped up to my number 2. With the ensemble win, with the BAFTAs overperforming at the BAFTAs, with just her as a career kind of win contender. And yeah, I think that she has a much better chance than we were thinking of. And I did see those anonymous ballots, and I saw a lot of votes for her. Yeah, that might be a possibility at this point. But I think Zoe Saldana still has the edge. She's the face of that film. She saved the film from the depths of hell, and she's going to be awarded for that. And it's not just because of that. It's because she also has a career win here at the Academy Awards this year. She's done really great work over the years, spanning over 20 years. So let's give it to her. I'm locking in. I'm saving it. But Isabella Rossellini might be a dark horse. You never know. She does good work in that film. It's just such short screen time, and it's not a biopic. I think that's really important to keep in mind. If you bring up the case of Judi Dench at Shakespeare of Love, yeah, that was literally a real life character, and it was in Shakespeare in Love, which won Best Picture. Conclave might win Best Picture. Yeah, it's hard to kind of make the case for her anyway. I don't know. And she's going to be in another movie soon that's probably going to be really well received. So I want her to win for something else that's more showcasing of her talent. She should have been nominated for Blue Velvet, but that's besides the point. Zoe Saldana wins at Best Supporting Actress this year. We can't go up against the sweepers. We can't do it. So let's move on to Best Actor. I know that Timmy won at SAG. And I know that Ralph Fiennes is in a better movie, according to the Academy, Conclave, over Sing Sing. So these are my top 3. Colman Domingo and Sebastian Stan aren't winning. Just forget about them for now. Another year, hopefully, for both of them. Both brilliant actors. Now, I think Timothée Chalamet, for a complete unknown. I think SAG was his win. I think it was very close between Brody and Chalamet, probably. I'm still putting Brody at the top. I think this is just too powerful of a film. It's gonna be a better chance of an Oscar for Best Picture, even though I don't think it's winning. it's a better chance at Best Director, even though I don't think it's winning probably. He just has a powerhouse performance, and it's much longer than Timothée Chalamet's. And I think the Academy is going to reward that. There's something really powerful about the Brutalist, and Adrian Brody's at the center of it. He's the heart and soul of that film, and he's winning the Oscar. I'm locking in. That's my prediction for Best Actor. It's Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. Timothée Chalamet doesn't win the Oscar this year. Winning the SAG was enough for him. And that's it. So Best Actress. Okay, we all know, if you've been following my channel, I've had Fernanda Torres at number 1 for quite some time with Demi Moore, and then Mikey Madison, then Arrivo and Gascon. Yeah, I'm predicting Carla Sofia Gascon, I think, because she's going to be their Oscars, and people are over the controversy, so she wins, right? No, she's number 5. I'm just kidding. I want Fernanda Torres to win. I really do. I'm putting Demi Moore at number 1. I think that SAG win just solidified it for me. I'm going to put Torres at number 2. How about that? If Torres wins, I won't feel as bad if she's at number 2. But if Mikey Madison wins, I'll be really happy because I'm like, oh my God, I didn't expect that. And I love Nora. It's my favorite film of the year. But I just feel like Demi Moore, the narrative is behind her in that story. We need a horror film genre to win a Best Actress prize or some kind of acting prize. It needs to happen. You know, like we need to break some history. It could be history for either 3 of these women. Mikey Madison for Nora, a leading lady. First time leading a film, being nominated, and then winning Best Actress. It hasn't happened like at all for a very long time. Yeah, the last time that happened was Marlee Matlin for Children of a Lesser God. Yeah, it's apples and oranges. How long was that? 41 years ago? That was 1984, yeah? 40 years ago. So for this, if Nora's winning Best Picture, shouldn't Mikey be above? Maybe. I just feel like she hasn't won enough this year, and Fernanda Torres is going to come out slightly on top here. It's just, I think even with a lot of voters, I know that they're voting for Fernanda Torres, but I think I'm Still Here is getting its kudos in Best International Feature, and Demi Moore is going to get her Oscar. She's getting the Oscar. If she doesn't, I'll be very surprised. She's my final prediction for Best Actress this year, with Fernanda Torres as my alternate. Demi Moore is winning the Oscar this year, and it pains me to say this because I want to say Fernanda Torres. What if I just switch it right before the ceremony starts? I might, but for the channel, I'll say Demi Moore. I don't want to get in trouble. But just know that I think it's 50-50, and if anything, I think it could be a tie. It hasn't happened in a very long time, but it could be a tie. So we'll leave it there. Okay, Best Director. Okay, for so long, first of all, that's going in the bottom. Not happening. James Mangold is not winning Best Director. This is his Oscar is being nominated. It's between Baker and Corbett. I thought for a while Corbett would win on principle, that this is an auteurist work that is epic. And it reminds me of kind of like The Revenant, Inarito. Something very epic, large scale, clear vision, great cinematography, lead actor performance. But I think Baker's just a well-known director here. He's won a lot of awards. So Anora won WGA, DGA, PGA, won the CCA. Baker won also Indie Spirit Awards and in Best Picture there. So it's kind of like, I think this is just the year for Sean Baker. He's a well-known director. He's been pumping out some films for the past decade, for Tangerine, for Florida Project, for Red Rocket. And I think this is just the year that he wins Best Director. I don't see Brady Corbett winning. I think he's too new, and he needs to keep trying. I think that he needs to keep making films consistently that are this good for him to win Best Director. Now, if he wins, I won't be surprised, but I just think it's going to Sean Baker. I'm locking in for my final prediction as being Sean Baker for Best Director this year for Anora. And let's go right into, let's see what the community thinks. Are they, they're thinking the same thing. It's at 69%. So I guess I'm on to something. Best Picture. Now, we saw votes being cast. We saw some drama. We thought Brutalist was number 1. We thought Amelia Perez was number 2. And then who knows what was number 3? Maybe, Wicked? Or Anora, something like that, with Conclave up here, and then whatever, something like this. And then we saw Conclave come out and just fuck people up. BAFTA winner, which I predicted. It won British film as well. It won Best Ensemble at SAG. It's been winning ensemble all year. And that's really something that Academy voters look into, is like a best ensemble kind of film that's very prominent and very, very, very dictative. I mean, we see SAG winning ensembles. If it is a top contender for Best Picture, by the end of the season, it probably wins Best Picture. I think that it was not as clear cut as we thought it was going to be after the Golden Globes. And, Honora's not a BAFTA film, but Mikey Madison won Best Actress. So that's why I have Honora at number 1. I just don't think so. I think Brulo's number 3. We have number 4. I'll put Wicked. And then after this, it's good. I think that we don't need to really argue here. I think the substance is really far away. I think this is a good list. Honora at number 1. Just the stats behind PGA, DGA, WGA, a Critics' Choice Best Picture, a Best Actress win for Mikey Madison at BAFTA. Even without that Best Ensemble win at SAG and that going to Conclave, it does make sense. Conclave is more of a bigger ensemble, in my opinion, and it has bigger names, and they're going to award that Best Ensemble. I promise you. I think Coda was the last film where I was like kind of surprised that they went with a film that had mostly new faces. But Marley Matlin was in that film, and the subject matter of that film was very like SAG friendly. So I'm having Nora at number 1. It's my final prediction for Best Picture. Conclave is right there. It's right there. Brutalist number 3. It doesn't matter. Nothing else is winning. It's either a Nora, Conclave, or the Brutalist, and the Brutalist really fell off in the past month. I mean, if Conclave wins, okay, so be it. But Nora needs to win Best Picture this year. I'm gonna cry. It's my favorite film of the year, and it's been such a good year. And honestly, I wish I could put I'm Still Here at like number 2, because that's my second favorite film of the year. I'm gonna keep it at number 4. How about that? Let's compromise, because I don't think Wicked is winning Best Picture after losing Best Ensemble at SAG. No Ariana Grande all year at the precursors. Absolutely nothing. And yeah, this is a production design film. Emilia Perez, no, it's not happening. It's too many number 10s. And then Brutalist, also a lot of number 10s. I mean, I could probably put Brutalist lower, but I won't. I think the passion for that film, if they're number 1, is too strong. It seems right. What do you guys think? What's winning Best Picture? Is it going to be Conclave? Am I underestimating Conclave? Maybe. It just seems like more of an ensemble film. I think the SAG ensemble thing was because it's a Best Ensemble film. It's not because it's Best Picture. If it wins Best Picture, God, I'm going to be so annoyed. Like, I cannot stop thinking about it. I was thinking about it. I was like, what if Sunday happens and Nora loses everything? I was like considering this for a second. I'm saving this here. What if Nora loses Best Picture, losing Best Actress, Director, and Screenplay, and editing? Where Conclave wins editing, it wins Best Picture, Best Actress goes to Demi, Best Director goes to Corbett, and Best Original Screenplay goes to A Real Pain. Oh my God, I don't want to make that prediction. This seems really wrong. All right, so those are my final predictions this year. We have a lot of spreading of the wealth this year. Honora goes home with 3 awards. That's Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay. Wicked goes home with 2, production design, costume design. Kind of too bad that it's not getting more, but that's what it is. Dune Part 2 gets Best Sound, Best Visual Effects. The Brutalist gets 3 for Adrian Brody, Best Actor, Best Original Score, and Best Cinematography. And Conclave goes home with 2, Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Editing. And I know that the Best Editing, Best Adapted Screenplay combo and nothing else is very strange, but it's a strange year. That's what I'm going to say about that. Emilia Perez goes home with Best Supporting Actress and for Best Original Song. And yeah, that's about it. There's no other films really performing at that level. A Real Pain will get the 1 for Kieran Culkin, in my opinion. And The Substance will go home with 2 as well. So we do have The Substance with 2. So we have a lot of 2-3 wins. We don't have any 5 wins. No 6 wins. Emilia Perez is not winning more than 2 awards, or could be editing. Very far reach. So we're not going to have any Oppenheimers this year. No Everything Everywhere All at Onces. No Lord of the Rings this year. No sweeps. That's not happening. It's a very diverse year. Very diverse stories being told. Lots of passion. and hate behind top films, passion for films that people have been seeing late and voting for. We're gonna see if Fernando Torres actually stands a chance. I might go on and be like, actually, I'm gonna do Fernando Torres, guys, on live. I'm gonna go live like an hour from the ceremony. Like, I can't do it. I'm changing my mind. I need to predict her. I need to, but I'm not going to yet. Those are my final predictions. Nora wins Best Picture. If it doesn't win Best Picture, I think that'll be the first time since Green Book that I didn't get Best Picture. I guess Roma that year. That was a sad year. I don't want to be sad this year. Conclave is good. It's just not on my top 10, and I don't want to win Best Picture. I'm sorry. I'm okay with Best Actor, and I'm okay with Best Supporting Actress, I guess. But I think adapted screenplay and editing are enough for Conclave. And honestly, cinematography I would have been okay with, but it's not even nominated, so that was weird. Although I like Nickel Boys better. Anyway, those are my predictions. Oscars are coming up. A couple of days. Hopefully, no drama. We're getting clips this year. No Fab Five. We're getting Wicked medleys. Is that what's happening this year? No original song performances. That's fine. I don't need original song performances. I want to see Wicked on stage. I love that musical. I love that movie. It's not getting enough love this year. I didn't think it was going to. It felt like it for a second there. I was like, oh, what else more is there to say? Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is winning Best Actress? Demi, Mikey, Fernanda? What's winning Best Picture? Do you think there's going to be a surprise there? What is winning Best Screenplay? Original Screenplay? Is it going to be a Real Pain, The Substance, or a Nora? Have you seen the shorts? What do you think about the shorts? Like, am I getting it right? Am I on the pulse here? Like, am I tripping? Also, documentary, like, do we really think that No Other Land has such a good chance at winning at Best Documentary with that subject matter? I don't think so. I think it's Porcelain War, right? What do you think? Maybe Sugarcane? Yeah, what do we think about, like, Best Cinematography? Is it the Blue List, or could Maria win? Like, I'm getting confused. Like, I almost put Maria at number 1 for a second, but then I was like, no, don't do that, Siobhan. While Crawley's winning for Best Cinematography. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe below, put on the notification bell. I want to know what your picks are for the Oscars this year. Who you think is going to win? Who you'd rather win? Who will win? Who should win? Who could win? Anything you want. I'll see you at the Oscars. I'll be making a live reaction video and publishing the next day. After that, lots more videos to come. I can't wait to share with you guys. Get some sleep. Make your predictions. Don't lose sleep. Get ready for the Oscars. They're coming, and it's going to be a great night. Until then, I'll see you at the movies. Take care.